Okay, we are actually a week overdue for a podcast episode. Sorry about that. My content timeline calendar has just been a bit messed up, but I thought it would be fun to, I know this is like very delayed because we're literally in March, but talk about what's on my 2026 project ideas board. I know I didn't make a 2026 project planning video like I did for 2025, and it's just because it's like really hard to talk out loud while I do it. I feel like it's a very high focus activity that I need to just do in silence. But in my filet crochet home decor video, I gave like a quick glimpse. I gave a quick glimpse of the board, and some people in the comments said they wanted to see what's on there. So I figured I might as well just talk about it in a little knit with me. I recognize that this is maybe not an ideal episode to consume in the audio format. I low-key didn't think that anyone was actually listening to this on Spotify. And then I looked at my stats the other day and I was like, oh wait, people are listening to this. The video version is available on Spotify, so maybe just like open your phone every time I talk about a new project to get a little visual aid. And then the rest of it is mostly just me yapping, so you can consume the only audio format for that. Some of these you will recognize from my 2025 project ideas board. Anything that I didn't get to last year that I still want to make, I just like moved into this year. And the first one is the Romanesco jumper from Loopy Studios. It's that really cool spiky top design, and I literally bought the yarn for this. I've actually bought two different yarn options for this. I have like a pink wool, which would make like a really kind of fun magenta top, and I have like an icy blue like mohair, like a thicker mohair, not a lace weight one obviously, and that would make like a really fun light blue fuzzy version. I've purchased the pattern. I guess like I'm trying to think why I haven't done it. I think it's because I've been more focused on writing my own patterns and like having new patterns to sell just for the sake of, paying the bills. And I feel like working on someone else's design is kind of a luxury for me, but I really, really want to make it. I did open the pattern when I first bought it and go like, is this maybe a little bit too advanced for me? But I really believe in I feel like there's two schools of thought when it comes to like learning knitting in particular, but I feel like fiber arts in general. There's like, oh, let me get a really good solid foundational base and like work up from easy projects to a more difficult one. And then there's like, let me find something I'm really excited to make and that I really feel motivated to finish. And I will just learn every skill I need as I make the project. And I think they're both valid ways of learning. I think it really depends on the person. But for me, I feel like I don't learn new knitting skills unless I'm forced to. And so I trust that I could make this top just fine. I would just have to like force myself to like learn how to read like a knitting diagram grid thing. I think I can figure anything out if I just put my head to it, and it would just be like so fun to style. Like I feel like it's very rare that you can knit something that, how do I explain this? Like looks really unique and something that's very hard to find in stores. Obviously you can find places to buy like this kind of spiky design top, but I do think it's more rare. And if you wanted one in like a specific colorway, the only way to really get it would be to make it. By the way, if you're not following Loopy Studios, you are actually missing out. She is so freaking talented. She knit her wedding dress. I don't think it was her ceremony dress. It might have been like her reception dress, but it was so freaking stunning. And she also just came out with the Romanesco bag pattern. So it's like the same spiky design, but for a bag. She has some other knit patterns that are so gorgeous that I really want to make. She's like what people think I am, like so creatively talented, but also has so much technical skill to back it up. Like genuinely, oh my god, I could only dream to be like her. I still haven't decided if I want to make a sleeveless version of this pattern or a long sleeve one. The sleeveless one feels a little bit weather confused because I probably will use like a warmer fiber for it, but I don't know, in my mind, the sleeveless one seems a little bit easier to style. I really feel like when I end up making it, I'm literally just gonna like make the body portion, look at it, and then decide if I want to add sleeves. I think for the yarns that I bought enough to make the version with sleeves just in case I want to. Okay, next, I'm going in no particular order, by the way. This is nothing crazy, but just like the really cute multicolored striped skinny scarves. And I just feel like this is one of those projects where it's not like interesting or unique enough to be really good for like video content, but it also is kind of time consuming. And so I just like don't really know when I would kind of give myself the luxury of making this. But I have so much mohair and like so many different colors in my collection. So I think it'd be so fun to make a scarf that has like 3 segments, and each segment is like a different color pairing of stripes. You guys know I love playing with color combos. I have to be a little bit more real with myself about whether I would wear it, just because I've made one other skinny scarf before. It's like this plain bright blue one. I will say that one I made a little bit too thick and I don't really like the yarn I picked for it, but I literally never wear it. And I found it really, really difficult to style. But these kind of mohair ones, I'm always saving Pinterest outfits that have the skinny scarf. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, if I just have it, I will find a way to style it. This next project is also carryover from 2025. I have always entertained the idea of trying to knit or crochet like a Qipao, like a Chinese style dress. And this would be like a really cool video idea, but I can just tell that people would want a pattern for it. And it's definitely not something that's easier to write a pattern for. I think like this type of garment is very body dependent and you wouldn't really be able to size grade it. And I can also just tell it'd be one of those projects that involves me like doing and then undoing and frogging and like a ton of trial and error. And it just, I don't know, it sounds hard. But I do think the more simple kind of Qipao style top is not as complicated. That's something I probably could release a pattern for, especially in crochet, because I've seen similar things in knit patterns, but less so like a crochet version. And I think in like a cute little mohair, and then I saw one set that paired it with a mini short, so I could make like my micro short pattern to match, and that would be so adorable for spring. So that's something that I'm definitely keeping in mind for maybe one of my spring pattern releases. Y'all can definitely let me know in the comments which one of these pattern ideas is like most exciting to you. This next project is less so that I want to make the project and more so I think it might be a good use for a random yarn that I bought. I got this like Funfetti flecked multicolored type yarn when I was in Vietnam last year, not because I had any idea what I wanted to make with it, but I just was like, oh, I've never seen this in the US and it's cheap, so I might as well get it. And then I was scrolling Pinterest and I saw this like one shoulder kind of, I don't know, asymmetrical halter style top. I've honestly been seeing a lot of these tops on Pinterest, and this one is made with kind of like a fun, it has like little metallic discs on it, this yarn, and it's definitely more of like an open textile. She's wearing something underneath, but the colorway kind of reminded me of my Funfetti yarn. And so I'm like, oh, maybe this could be a fun idea, because like the obvious idea when you buy a multicolored yarn is to like make a cute little accessory, but I just don't think I would wear like a Funfetti bonnet. But like maybe if I use the yarn for like a fun summery top like this, I would wear it more, ? Speaking of bonnets, there is one more bonnet that I want to make, although again, we're kind of coming out of winter, so I don't know if it's going to happen this year, but I have been seeing these beaded bonnets and I just think they are like so fun and also read very like high fashion, like something you'd see on a runway. I am mostly bonneted out. I have my bow bonnet pattern and I've made so many versions of it and I love all of them, but I'm definitely not like dying to make another one. But if I were to make another one, I think it'd be this. It's such a good use for like random pretty beads you might have. I mean, maybe you don't have random pretty beads, but I really like to buy beads. So I definitely already have beads that I could use for this. And I just think a simple little mohair bonnet in like a pastel color topped with a bunch of beads would just be so, so pretty. But again, it's something I would like to make and that I don't think I would ever wear. It's not really my style. Oh, this one will not come as a surprise to you. I feel like this is on every single knitters to make list, but it's Loopy Studios stripy cardigan. She came out with the free pattern, which like, she's such a godsend, like love that for her, but it is like such a perfect shape. I feel like some cardigans can just be a bit, I don't know, there's like a line, I think, where I feel like a cardigan needs to either be kind of snatching or really oversized. And I feel like a lot of my cardigans are like in a weird in between that just feels a little bit frumpy. But this one's kind of the best of both worlds because it has like a more oversized drapey batwing fit up top, but then it has like a more cinched waist. I just think it's so flattering and it would be so easy to style. And it's meant to use up scrap yarn. My only thing is like, I am not good at like color mapping. Like I feel like Loopy Studios is so good with color. And in one of her recent videos, she actually talked a little bit about like how she pairs colors, but my brain just doesn't work that way. So the idea of like trying to look at my entire yarn stash and then figure out what colors to use feels like such a daunting task. I do think it'd be a fun opportunity to use up some yarns that I maybe don't have that much of. And I think it's something where you can combine like, say like a lightweight wool and then like use a doubled up mohair for other parts of it. Like I think you can really mix and match like the yarn fibers and the yarn weights and it'll still turn out looking really cute. But I don't know, I really want to make it because I also have the perfect buttons for it. Since I spent $70 on buttons at Vogue Knitting Live. I guess it could be a spring piece. This is like another one of those things where like I want to make this, but I have like my own cardigan and my own sweater patterns that are in the process that I feel like I should be focusing on writing and releasing instead of making this. On the topic of Loopy Studios, another one of her patterns that I really love and that I've already bought. I forgot what the pattern is called. It's basically like a little cap, lacy cap thing. I think this has been really trendy, honestly, for like a year or two now. But I predict that like this spring, summer is when it's gonna be a lot more commonly worn, not just by the fashion it girls. I think it's so pretty and I love how it gives you a completely different look depending on what color you make it in. So like I've seen people make it in black and it gives you like a very gothic medieval princess look. But then if you make it in like a bright color, it's like perfect with the bikini for summer. And then you can add beads on the end like she did. And it's just, oh my God, I love it. And again, it feels like something that's a lot more unique than what you would buy in a store. So this will definitely get made this spring, summer by yours truly. Mark my words. Okay, this next one, I don't even know if it's worth mentioning, but it's my diagonal cutout button top. If you don't know the lore on this, basically I knit this original Chinese button one when I was in China. I want to say like a year, it was last fall, so a little over a year ago. And then I posted it and I got so many requests for a pattern, but it's definitely a top that I really just like free-handed and I had like no recollection of how I made it. So I wasn't really thinking about writing a pattern. And by the time I started considering it, I realized that there are a lot of similar patterns out there. I've been recommending the Slice Me Up top by Silly Hands. It has ribbing, but I feel like you could easily adapt it to not have ribbing. And I really like hers in particular because she wrote it so that it's made to measure and that you can use like any yarn you want. And so I think it's just the most adaptable version of the pattern I've seen. It's not the exact same. Hers definitely uses more buttons, but I think that's probably more size inclusive anyway because I have pretty large cutouts on mine, which I can get away with because I have like no boobs. But you definitely need more buttons if you have a larger bust or like your whole titty is just gonna fly out. Anyway, so then I ended up deciding that I wanted to try and write a crochet pattern for it instead, since I haven't really seen that, and because I do think more of my audience crochets than knits. And I ended up making like a crochet version in one of my previous videos. It's like a bluish one with orange buttons. It's honestly really cute, but I am not happy with my yarn choice for it. I used a cotton because I wanted it to be like more of a summer top, right? And not be like too warm of a textile. But I think the yarn is just a little bit too stiff. Like an important part of the top is that it needs to have some stretch to it and be form-fitting. And I just don't feel like that version, it looks good in the photo, but I feel like as you move and sit and like it just doesn't move with the body the way I wanted it to. And I fully like put out an application for testers and everything, and then just never contacted anyone from the form. So good on me. But I promise this year I am going to make a version I'm happier with, actually write the pattern. I'm gonna like send out a form for testers, and we're gonna get this pattern out. I'm not prioritizing it right now just because it's still cold as balls in New York, but it's gonna come out this spring, summer. I promise. I promise. I pinky promise. Now, this next project is literally the one that I'm working on right now as we speak. I have really been wanting to make like a semi-sheer fitted long sleeve, just a really nice wardrobe staple, kind of like the Intimissimi cashmere boat neck top that has, I feel like, kind of been going viral this winter, or maybe that's just my friend group. My friend group is obsessed with them. They all have them. But that top it's very stretchy, and then it like really snatches to fit you. And I think some people love that, but for me, I don't really like a really tight knit top that like kind of forms to my body. It just makes me feel like a sausage and sausage casing. Like I wanted a top that was fitted, but more so in the actual shaping of the garment, not just because it's like so tight that it compresses me. I don't know if what I'm saying makes any sense, but my first version of it was that like button edge alpaca boucle top that I made a few videos ago with the thumb holes, and I really loved how that one turned out. I actually like am excited to wear it, which freaking never happens with anything that I make. And I'm working on another version right now to write the pattern. Part 1 of me making it is already up. I'm using like a thinner yarn, and I want it to be a little bit more sheer because the first one I made ended up being more opaque than I expected, I guess because the yarn was a boucle. I want this one to be like a finer yarn and more of like a semi-sheer textile and a little bit more simple, like more of a basic, because I do think the other one, like with the multicolored yarn and the buttons, ended up being more of like a statement piece. I am honestly always a bit on the fence about releasing knit patterns because I'm not a super advanced knitter or knitwear designer, and I feel like there are so many super well written knit patterns out there. I'm like, what are the chances that I'm like releasing something that doesn't already exist? But I got such a huge influx of comments and DMs from people being like, I really want like a fitted long sleeve pattern that isn't just a tube. Like this one, the one that I'm working on right now, it has bust shaping, and I think it makes such a big difference because you can tell with like a straight up and down tube which parts of the fabric are being stretched more, and you can like see the fabric stretching more around your boobs. And I don't really have boobs, but I do think it's less flattering than actually just adding a little bit of extra volume to accommodate that part of your body. So I'm hoping this sells well. I'm hoping like people make it and like how it fits. We shall see. So far, I'm really happy with how it's looking. These next 2 projects are definitely carryover from 2025. The first one is I really want to make a Chinese knot pillow, which I have felt re-inspired to make because if you saw, I posted like a little YouTube shorts about it, but I got my friends together for Chinese New Year and we made those like lucky knot bag charms that I've been seeing everywhere, and they turn out so cute. They're so easy, and I just think it would be so fun to make that on a bigger scale and make like a big stuffed Chinese knot pillow. The only reason it didn't happen last year is because I just always plan to make this when I'm at my sister's place in Chicago because she makes amigurumi, so she already has stuffing. Like I don't really want to buy a huge bag of stuffing if I'm not going to use it for anything else. And so I was like, oh, this will be my project when I'm in Chicago. And then I forgot what happened. Oh, I ended up making her a cardigan for her birthday instead. But my plan is that when I go to Chicago this year, that will be my project. It is going to involve me just making like an extremely long, skinny red tube and then stuffing it and then hoping that I don't know. I guess I'm on the fence because it might flop and that would be really awkward, but it is something that I haven't seen done before, and so I feel like it would be really fun, and it would just be funny to like have that on my bed, honestly. I don't know what I would do with it if I actually did finish it. And then the other project left over from last year is this sweater that alternates like a really fuzzy yarn and then like a really thin yarn. And I guess the reason I want to make this is because I have the exact yarns I need for it. I got this super fluffy mint colored yarn when I was in Korea 2 years ago, and that paired with like a bright blue or a bright pink mohair I think would be so perfect. I don't know, I just don't feel as inclined to make it anymore. I think because this year I have become much more focused on making things that I would want to wear, or making things that are a little bit more wearable that I can like release patterns for. And this is like fun, but it's so not my style. So I'm kind of like, why would I make it? But if I'm not going to make it, I should figure out another use for that yarn, because I do really love that yarn and I would like to use it. I don't want to just make like another basic like fuzzy item. I feel like I've done that before with my bonnet and my hand warmers, and it's just a little bit less interesting. This next one, I'm pretty sure I mentioned in my Pinterest accessories video, and I didn't get to it in that video, but a lot of people did comment and say they really wanted to see me try it. It's basically like putting chainmail inside of a knit piece. I've really only seen it from this creator called Ye Old Josie. Her pieces are so freaking beautiful. I do think this would be really fun to try. I also think it'd be really cool as like a custom for someone who has like more of like a gothic style. I know I kind of abandoned my custom series that I semi-embarked on last year. I'm trying to figure out what happened. I do think that it's really fun and it's really fulfilling, but it's a lot of work, and it was making it really hard for me to like keep up with like a more regular upload schedule and just like keep up with the rest of my life, because I was like pouring hours into making these custom designs. I guess I could continue this series and just like not have such large undertakings, but I don't know. I don't want to make someone a custom and just make them like a simple little bonnet. Like, I feel like if I'm going to do a custom, I want it to be like really sick couture kind of vibes. I don't know. This leads me to like a larger existential question about whether my platform is more about designing patterns and making money off of that, or like actually designing unique pieces that I think are more like being more of an artist. I don't know. I don't want to think about that right now. So moving on, I did put a lot of lampshades on my board this year. I obviously already made my filet crochet one, but I kind of want to make like a cute little knit mohair one. I've been seeing these everywhere, and I do think this is like a little bit more like my interior decor style. I don't have like a lamp or a lampshade for it right now though, and I don't know. I'm kind of at a point with my room where like I just hate it, and I've accepted that I hate it. I feel like when it comes to creative stuff, like interior decor is like my big blind spot. No, I have a lot of blind spots actually. I'm like really bad at graphic design too. But I guess when it comes to like hair, makeup, fashion, jewelry, all those things, like I feel like I have a point of view and I feel like I know what I'm doing. But when it comes to interior decor, like I know what I like and what I don't like, but for some reason I am like incapable of putting together a space that I like. Maybe because it requires, I don't know, you know how like some people need like a literal breakdown tutorial of how to put together a good outfit, like they can't just go off vibes. That's how I feel about interior decor. Like I want to go about it just based off vibes, like the way that putting together cool outfits is very easy for me, but I don't think I have that in me, and I feel like I need to like literally just like look at a space that I like and copy it effectively. Anyway, but what I was getting at is that I hate my room, and I don't even want to like buy things to try and make it better. I feel like I might just try again next time I move. And so I'm like, maybe I'll just save this knitted lamp idea for like when I have a lamp for it and when I have a space that I actually care about, because right now I'm just like so degaff. It's not that bad, it's really not, but I just feel like my friends are all so much better at like curating a space, and I'm just kind of like frustrated that it doesn't come naturally to me. Oh, this is another design that I'm considering for like a spring pattern release, so would love to get your thoughts. I know a lot of people love the Mew pattern. It's like a knit top that's like more drapey on the top and cinched on the bottom. Not at all shitting on this pattern or the pattern designer. I think for my personal preference, I think the upper part of it could use more drape. I just feel like, especially when I see it on girls who aren't flat chested, I feel like there could be more fabric in the top so that it's a little bit more drapey versus being like not drapey but also not fitted. I don't know if that makes sense, but I know a lot of people like make the pattern and love it. I want to make something in that silhouette, but I've been seeing really cool like button convertible tops where basically there's like buttons along the top edge, and then you can wear the top a bunch of different ways by like switching around how you button it. And I think making like kind of like a crochet version of the Mew top, but with a little bit more drape and also including this like button feature would be such a cool pattern release. Obviously you can make it without the buttons and then it would just be like a simple kind of like fitted waist drapey top, but I just love anything that's convertible, and I also love buttons. So I think that'd be really fun. I do feel like if I want to do that though, I kind of have to like get ahead of the curve because I think a lot of people are going to release similar patterns just given how popular the Mew top has been. And then I guess kind of competing with that design for what I want to release in the spring is this button top that I feel like you guys have all seen. It's been like all over Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok. If you're in the fiber arts world, you've seen it. It's like a little cap sleeve, high neck top that has like really tiny buttons all the way down the front. And I have seen someone release a crochet pattern for this. I'm sorry, I don't remember like who it was. I didn't click into it. I remember seeing that there was kind of like some, I guess like folding and extra fabric along this button front area that I wasn't loving in that pattern, and that is kind of harder to avoid. Like I do think this design is more conducive to knit than crochet, and I'm pretty sure there is like a knit version for this pattern as well. So I'm like, I could come out with the crochet version of this pattern that I think would probably use a pretty thin yarn, like thinner than the pattern I saw that already came out. I would really want it to like emulate the fit of a knit top, but I do think like this was really, really popular last spring, summer, and so I'm like, I don't know if I feel as excited about it now. It might just be worth me making it and not releasing a pattern for it, you know, because I did buy a bunch of really beautiful like multicolored kind of water droplet buttons for super cheap when I was in Vietnam with the intention of using them for a top like this. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. And then the third design that I'm considering for spring is this knit mohair halter that I made last spring and then never came out with a pattern for. I honestly should do this. The reason I've been putting it off was because I wasn't confident about my ability to write a pattern for bust shaping, and like similar to all my designs, my original version of this that I made for myself has no bust shaping because like I don't need it, but I was like, I cannot write a pattern for a halter neck top that doesn't have bust shaping because it will literally like not fit women who have boobs. Like if it's a top that's like cutting in towards the neck, like it needs to have some shaping. But now that I've started writing the pattern for this long sleeve, I actually feel pretty good about my ability to write a pattern with bust shaping, and I don't think this would be that hard for me to write. So in an ideal world, I will come out with this pattern in the spring and my crochet diagonal cutout pattern and another pattern. Okay, I feel like I'm being unrealistic here, but I don't know. Let me know what you feel the most strongly about. I do think the knit halter is kind of fun though, because there are a lot of ways to wear it. Like you can kind of wrap around the neck portion to be like a skinny scarf, or you can like tie it in a bow. I like to style my halter by like sliding a little ring down so that it's like a fun detail on the like front neck area. So yeah, I feel like I'm just on the fence because I can't tell what patterns are actually going to do well. And when it comes to knit patterns, I don't really know what's already out there. So y'all need to tell me like if it's something worth writing, you know? Oh, and before we get too deep into spring, I want to talk about another more like winter pattern that I'm thinking about coming out with. I know it's kind of late for it, but I do feel the struggle of being a crocheter who doesn't know how to knit and wanting to make like really cute cardigans that look like they're knit. And I want to think about releasing a pattern where basically you crochet like a double strand of mohair. So, I mean, it would take a little bit more time, but making like a really cute, fuzzy, striped cardigan. There's one I saw on Pinterest that's definitely knit, but I feel like I could really get a similar look with crochet. And I just feel like that would do well because there's definitely a market of like crocheters who haven't jumped the gun to learning to knit yet. And I feel like that's like why my crochet bow bonnet did so well, because like you can use a fuzzy yarn and brush it out and kind of like get the look of a bonnet that doesn't look crocheted, if that makes sense. The thing is though, if you're trying to crochet a garment but make it look knit, it is kind of complicated. Like if I wanted to release a cardigan pattern that has ribbing on the sleeves and on the bottom, it's definitely possible, but it's a little bit more involved, a little bit more complicated. So what I'm considering is coming out with a cardigan pattern that's more straight up and down, just like a funnel neck, like straight sleeves, straight torso, and doesn't have the ribbing, and then maybe coming out with like a more advanced ribbing version next winter. For my crocheters out there, I'd really like to know your thoughts, but I do think that that could be really cute and that would potentially sell well. I really don't have that much time though. It's already March. I don't know. I'm really bad with like my pattern release calendar planning thing. Oh, and something else that I want to make, which will not surprise any of you, is a contrast sleeve sweater. Something that I have floated the idea of doing / attempted doing in 2 videos already and has yet to happen. I want to make... I've made a few knit sweaters that like have collar and sleeve ribbing. I've made my original gray one from my China trip 3 years ago, where I just used like a doubled over lace weight mohair. And then I have the green and yellow one, which everyone is calling my Brazil sweater, that I made at the end of last year. But I'm not perfectly satisfied with either of those. Like those were both kind of trial runs, and I don't know. I just feel like a pattern for this sweater definitely already exists, but I still feel the urge to come out with basically like a version of my watercolor brushed sweater, but with the collar and sleeve ribbing and the ribbing on the bottom, just ribbing in general. Just like fuzzy, you can brush it out, kind of oversized fit, but also has the ribbing finishings to make it just look a little bit more like store-bought, I guess. I don't know. I'm on the fence because my watercolor brushed sweater didn't like sell that well, so I'm like, maybe this is a waste of effort. But I feel like if I really perfect the fit on it, like a lot of people will want to make this. I'm getting off topic. The point is I want to make like another kind of like doubled like double strand mohair knit oversized striped sweater with the ribbing, but this next version is gonna actually successfully do the contrast sleeve. And I've been looking at more examples and trying to like figure out how to make the contrast sleeve look good. I think there is like some planning and thinking necessary. For example, like integrating one of the sleeve colors into the collar ribbing so that the sleeves don't look so disparate from the body. I don't know. I don't even know if I want a contrast sleeve sweater. I just feel like I've failed at it so many times that now it's like my white whale and I need to just do it successfully. But I don't know. Jada pointed out recently, like, she's like, I don't think you would even wear a contrast sleeve sweater. And I'm like, that's low-key true, but I'm just not going to think about that. And then I think everything else on this board is more like small accessories and stuff. Like if you watched my filet crochet home decor video, I mentioned that I still want to make a filet crochet hip scarf. I still want to do like a filet crochet tie, maybe a filet crochet bookmark, like smaller things. But those are kind of the main designs I'm thinking about, especially when it comes to pattern releases. So even though this wasn't my intention for this video, if you guys could let me know in the comments as like, you know, whether you're a knitter, whether you're a crocheter, what patterns you're really excited about. That would be helpful because the pattern writing process is quite arduous and I want to be putting like all my time and effort into the right designs and into the things that will sell well. And I just feel like I don't have a good grasp on that. Like so many of my pattern sales come from my bow bonnet and my scallop scarf, which makes sense because those are like nice beginner friendly projects. But I'm like really bad at coming out with beginner friendly projects because in my mind, I'm like, could you just figure out how to do that on your own? And it's like, no, Grace. That's why people are buying it. I guess I just like, sorry, this is another existential question, like releasing patterns that just like kind of speak to the market and will do well, but don't mean anything to me versus like releasing patterns that like I think are really unique designs and so beautiful, but might not sell as well. Like I feel like my Lily Lace filet crochet top is a great example. I'm like so proud of that design and it's so beautiful and I tried really hard to make it size inclusive and I feel like it is, but it's not something that like everyone's making like with like a cloud sweater, you know? But then I came out with okay, sorry. I'm about to like go off about my knitting patterns not selling well again and I think I should stop ranting about that because I just think not as many of my viewers knit and there's just a lot of knit patterns out there already and it's just like a more competitive space. And I am considering honestly doing like another round of testing for my watercolor brush knit sweater in the sense that I don't think I need more feedback, but I think I integrated a lot of my testers' feedback after they made their sweaters, right? And so I kind of want like a new round of testers to work the new and improved version so I can add their sweaters to the tester gallery and obviously get like any incremental feedback. There was just like a lot of issues with like people hitting gauge because I knit so loose. And so I feel like a lot of people's sizing is kind of off and I think that's all fixed now. But I feel like if more people manage to make the like proper oversized fit that my original version had, it would just help the pattern sell better. Like I want to give that pattern another chance, you know, because I do really love her. And maybe if I like make another version of it, that will also help it sell a little better. We'll see. But my tummy is literally growling. I don't know if the mic is picking it up, but that is happening. So I think I need to go eat lunch. I hope you enjoyed getting a little look inside the chaos in my brain when it comes to what I should make as a content creator and as like a pattern designer. I'm honestly so jealous of my friends who knit and crochet recreationally and can just focus exclusively on making things that they'll want to wear, because as you can probably see, I just have like so many considerations and what I would wear is like honestly the last consideration. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you have anything else you want me to talk about on the pod. I don't know, I've been feeling like really uninspired on that front. I guess I haven't felt like oversharing as much recently, and that's usually what I do on here. So if you have any other topics you want to hear me yap about, let me know. But thank you so much for listening as always, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.
You left the kitchen light on and it's too